Oh, we're live. Well, I didn't know. Um, I'm not messing with my camera today. I'm just gonna. I got the StreamYard up and ready to go, and still playing around with it. They did a lot better than the last time I used it, so I gave it another try. What what would it hurt to try something new, right? Um, yeah, good deal. So, welcome to the Blind Spot, our little clubhouse we have. Brand new here, and we're going to be trying to inspire a little bit today, if you don't mind. Like I said yesterday, or on the intro, we are, or I am, we are going to not just be discussing blind things, but trying to discuss everyday kind of things that may interest everyone. That way that no one feels left out, right? We don't want that. You belong here, if you belong anywhere. So, I've been critiqued a little bit this afternoon by a wise Jedi, and I promised myself I would indulge in the critiques to become a better Padawan, if you don't mind. Right on. So I wanted to discuss first, before we get into the wacky. I had met a person. What day was that? That was 2 days ago, and I wasn't talking about religion or spiritual stuff, or it just came out because I was trying to be a good friend, I guess, or someone was going through a hard time, I guess, and had been AFK, as it were, away from keyboard, or just away. And I asked, are you okay? And this individual told me they had been going through some things, and I was trying to be supportive, as a friend, I guess, as a new friend, trying to get to know somebody. And they didn't like that. I wasn't talking about religion or the Bible or spiritual stuff, or I wasn't talking about nothing. I was just trying to be, hey, it's going to be okay. And I don't know if I came across as like a Bible thumping kind of person or what, but they just came out and told me, well, I'm an atheist. I don't believe that. I was trying to give a positive, spin on what they were kind of going through, maybe. And I asked permission before I I said, would you mind if I give you my opinion on what you're going through? Kind of maybe put a positive spin on it. And what I guess it came across as I was trying to preach or something to them, and they told me they were an atheist. And then that kind of upset me a little bit. I mean, I wasn't angry, but I was kind of like, wow, how could you not believe in something? You don't have to believe in religion or the Bible or whatever, Torah or the Quran or whatever. You don't have to believe in the religion. But to not believe in a higher entity that doesn't make sense to me. I don't think it ever has. To believe that this is all accident, that we don't mean that us being here and everything in the universe being as it is just a big mistake. That doesn't make sense. Something had to put everything where it's supposed to be and in the right places just for us to be here, or puppy dogs and kitty cats. That kind. Everybody has to be put here. Everything has to be put in a certain place for it to be here. So that doesn't make sense for it all just to be a mistake or an accident, or nothing comes from, nothing comes from something. I don't know if that makes any sense. You can't have something that's just, yeah, the Big Bang. Well, then what created the Big Bang? If you want to go scientific, well, nobody knows. What was before that? Nobody knows. So it just happened. Just magic. So I got kind of thrown off a little bit. I was like, how could you believe in nothing? And they were telling me, their family was hardcore religious, and they had some issues growing up with that kind of thing. I said, well, okay, you don't have to believe in whatever religion your church or your the faith was trying to teach you. Take the good and leave the bad. But to believe that there's nothing after here is a mistake. So I don't like, I do like talking about it now. I didn't before, but I don't want to go into it every time I do a positive video. But it kind of is, it's good to know that, hey, there's something else, so we don't have to worry all the damn time about this life. I mean, yeah, we should, because we're here to learn, and to believe that we're put here for a reason is, confusing, but it makes sense if you think about it. And I'll explain it, but I don't know if I don't want this to be a complete spiritual channel. I want it to be multifaceted, like I explained, where there's all kinds of different avenues I can go, and that kind of thing. But anyways, I said this, and I think if you're not a spiritual person, then this message is for you also. But if you are a spiritual person and you come across somebody who isn't, you could use my my analogy, if it works. That way I don't want to give it a name that's not, but it's a story. Let's say it's a story, okay? Maybe it's a personal story. So if you, for some reason or another, are lost in a desert, no trees, no roads, no restaurants, no animals, and you don't know where you are. I mean, you could use the stars, but you won't know where the nearest civilization is, or the nearest river, or the nearest bathroom even. So let's just say you're there, right? And you can't see anything on the horizons in 360, assuming you can see. Maybe you're using Siri, if Siri even existed. You can't use MapQuest, right? And you don't know where you are. You don't know where nothing is. You don't know how far. All you have is what you have in your pockets and whatever's. Assume there's nothing even on the ground, nothing on the sands. No footprints anywhere, no signs of anything. So you're just lost, right? Who are you going to cry out to help you? No one? Nothing? I don't think so. I think even the most motivated atheist would, I think, drop to their knees and go, come on, God, or whatever you are, help me, right? I think that would be a breaking point for an atheist to say, you know what, maybe I don't believe in you, or maybe you don't exist, but what's it going to hurt for me to ask you for help? If you exist, help me. Get me out of this situation. And what happens if a big cloud of, color, comes down from the sky and calls this person by name and asks, why didn't you believe in me until now, when you're destitute? And, however you want to explain it to that cloud thing, why you didn't believe in it, right? And then that cloud says, well, you didn't believe in me, even though I've given you opportunities to, to be curious, at least be curious about what it is, what I am. And you never asked, you never wanted to know. You ignored me when I put things in your life to, maybe navigate towards this way. You turned your back on it. So if you are now stranded and, maybe I don't believe in you. And then that person in the desert just disappears and is erased from it existing anywhere. Just erased, deleted. The antivirus delete file, rejected, never existed. I mean, is it really that? I wouldn't want to risk it. If your heart believes that maybe something could exist, I don't know. That's better than saying I don't want to believe anything. I think it's too risky to deny that there's not something that we don't understand. Okay, so here's the wacky, right? There is a TV show. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of it. Thing called Seinfeld. Yeah, Seinfeld. And there's the funniest thing in my head that I can remember of that TV show is when the chick Elaine was in the bathroom stall and she's out of toilet paper. She's like, damn it! And there's somebody next door in the next stall, and she asks, can I get a square? And the other lady like, what? I'm out of toilet paper over here, and can I get a square? And I can't spare a square. You can't spare. I'm like, this is the dumbest shit. I'm like, well, this is what puts me in a way for society to, overcome and be better than we are. Because if you see somebody in health, or of somebody in health, and you tell them you can't spare a square, then what happens if you're in that person's shoes down the road? You think somebody is going to help you? I really don't believe in the karma or anything, but I believe that people can sense each other. And if I can sense in someone that they are a selfish person who would never help me, then why would I put myself out there to help someone whom I have a feeling they wouldn't help anybody besides themselves? That's what we tend to normally navigate towards. I believe I've been saying this since after the incident when I lost my vision, that negative people attract negative people, or they don't want to attract anyone. They just stay reclusive, I guess. But negativity also can attract positive people because it's a trap. It's a trap. But positive people can attract negative people because they want to turn them into negative people. So I try to stay positive, but I do it more on the neutral side because I want to help negative people become positive. And that seems to be the most difficult thing to do, because everybody, like I've said, before that people all get set in their ways and they don't want to change. Even I'm that way. I don't want to. If I like who I am and I care, I love myself, and I'm comfortable in my own skin, changing is hard. But changing yourself to help other people doesn't seem so difficult. And, for instance, I was explaining to a friend earlier that I have a manic anxiety. So my father was a manic depressive. So I know it's got to be in my genes to have these things in my, So my dad would get he would get depressed, and he would, be, I guess, I can't think of the word. He would be like overachiever about it. He wouldn't be able to shake it. And with me, I when I get excited, my brain speeds up, and the images that put your sentences together and your ideas, and they get too fast, and I try to, my mouth tries to explain it as fast as it's coming through my mind, and then I end up jumping on somebody else's conversation. They're trying to tell their thing, and I'm overbearing, I guess. I cut them off, or I talk over them. I don't mean to, but my brain won't slow down to process. That's why I was diagnosed as a kid with ADD, because that's how my brain wants to go fast, and my mouth can't keep up, and the people who are trying to teach me something can't keep up. So then my mind goes to my imagination, because I get bored. So as an adult, they don't call it ADD anymore, because I don't have the same symptoms, because I'm able to concentrate on what's going on, but I'm already five steps ahead of where we are in a conversation. And I have talked to therapists in the past, because I think the reason why I'm telling you this is because I think it would help some people. Not just because of ADD or a manic anxiety, but because people learn from each other, and being able to learn from one person's ideas or what they're going through, and then being able to share and be honest about it, it opens up people's minds a little bit, and their compassion in their hearts to understand it. That way they don't do something wrong, or they don't offend somebody else, or they just kind of get an idea. So knowledge is wisdom. And then if they run into somebody else who has the same kind of issues, they know how to handle themselves around that person, so they're not offended, or they're not offended as easy, I guess, or they're not worried that they're going to offend that person, because they kind of have an idea. So I think the first time I met somebody who had epilepsy, she had a tumor in her brain. I think I was like 10 or 11 years old, and she was younger than me, and she talked a little funny, but one day we were outside on the front, we were playing jacks. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's like a rubber ball with the little X things that you drop the ball, and you got to see if you can pick up the most jacks before the ball hits the ground again. And we were playing it, and all of a sudden she just fell on the ground and started twitching, and it scared the crap out of me. And I didn't know she had it. I didn't know what she had. I didn't know what was going on, because nobody told me. So I didn't know what to do. I freaked out, started crying. I thought she was dying or something. I didn't know. And I ran inside to the babysitter, and I told her, I said, "Oh, it's okay. She has this thing." and I didn't. And then about like 30 seconds later, the girl was fine, and she was like, "Want to play some more?" I'm like, "No, I think I'm gonna go change my underwear." You know, it was crazy. So, but like I'm saying, to know somebody, to know what issues, to know what illnesses are, to know what certain things are, helps you understand it. That way, you know how to deal with something when you come across somebody similar. So that's compassionate. That's being compassionate, right? Using your heart to understand other people's issues. OPP. Yeah, you know me. You become a better person yourself. And then when you're trying to explain your thing, your issues, your whatever, you would expect someone to be as understanding and willing to listen, to understand your stuff too, so you could pass the same thing on to someone else, but in a different way. Because everybody's the best teacher, right? Like I think I'm able to explain myself in a metaphorical way, or a way to put stories to open people's ideas about something. Who knows? Everybody thinks they're good at explaining things, and I believe I'm okay at it, but I don't have the personality to keep people entertained. I couldn't be a comedian. I could be a one-hit wonder comedian. I can't stay on the stage for 30 minutes and make people laugh all night long. I'd get tomatoes thrown at me within the first 5 minutes. Dude, get off the stage. You were funny like the first 5 seconds. You suck. Yeah, but I keep myself entertained, and I think that's the best trait I have, is I'm able to occupy and entertain myself. But I try to share my gifts to indulge other people's curiosities, or maybe open someone's mind a little bit about whatever I come across. Maybe if it inspires me, I think it'll inspire someone else. Who knows? The sky's the limit. And that's not true either, because after the sky, then what? And we can keep going. Who knows? The edge of the galaxy could be the limit. if we're willing to try and evolve and stop being cave people. And the way I feel about society, I can't stand it, and I think society's de-evolving. Yeah. But I have hope. I have hope. I see people, I see changes, I see without being able to see. With eyes, I see with my heart, as most visually impaired people do. They use their heart, they don't use their eyes because they can't. Anyways, I think that's good for right now. And for a positive message, I think that's a wrap. Well, happy Sunday, and I hope you guys enjoy your week. And if you're a visually impaired person, stay handy-capable. If you're a sighted person, don't believe your lying eyes. Try to use your mental vision. God bless, namaste, and whatever else. Later.